Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Red Corner Show. I am Dr. Shamila Ramjawan, host of the Red Corner Show, founder of the Princess D Menstrual Cup and Olympus International Awards, as well as the lead author of the world's first anthology series, Watering the Seed, Stories of Personal Growth. Volumes 1 and 2 are available on Amazon, with Volume 3 launching on the 4th of July, 2026. As we count down to our official launch, we are sharing exclusive interviews with our contributing authors. Joining me today is one of our remarkable authors from South Africa, Ishara Singh, whose contribution is featured as Chapter 45, Scars of Innocence and the Strength to Continue to Love. Ishara Singh is a devoted wife, mother, grandmother, mentor, and survivor whose journey reflects resilience, faith, and unconditional love. A top graduate from Tshwane University of Technology in South Africa, she holds qualifications in office management, facility management, occupational health and safety, marketing, child psychology, and computer studies. She has mentored hundreds of young women, guiding them academically and emotionally, while embracing her role as the queen beside her king and the heart of her family. Ishara's story is a powerful reminder that strength can rise from adversity and that purpose, love, and growth can transform even the deepest scars into light. Welcome, Ishara.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Shamila, and thank you to the listeners.
Yes, it's great having you on the show, Ishara, and I cannot wait for you to share with the audience just a little bit about your chapter in Watering the Seed, Stories of Personal Growth. But before we go ahead, is there anything that you would like to share with the audience?
Well, maybe I can just say that when you have pain, there's definitely a way to come out of it. It depends on how you as a human being take it. It depends on your faith that actually held me for the past 58 years, because I was only 12 when I actually discovered, when I had to make my own decisions, which obviously with the help of God. And up until today, I serve the same God, because God has no face. But within your heart, within your belief system, within yourself, just continue what drives you. Have a purpose in life, no matter what you go through. I mean, if I look at your story, Shamila, I met you 10 years ago, and I always take my hat out for you. Being a single mom, losing your husband at a young age, you guys were madly in love. I cannot put myself in that situation. Yes, I faced a lot of other situations, but where you are today, that actually gave me a lot of strength.
Oh, thank you for that. Yes, it's been a tough journey, but we get stronger by the day.
Yes. And I just want to add as well, if I look at my children today, they are the ones that actually kept me going. Looking at my grandkids, I've got 2 teenage grandkids. And I was just telling my husband the other day, I was actually their age when I had to make choices in life. And it's so beautiful to see how these kids grew and how they think for themselves. And it's just amazing.
Yes.
You know? And for me to live, to see that my grandkids are growing at that age, what a privilege, what a blessing. Absolutely.
I'm actually looking forward to you sharing your chapter with the audience and with whoever buys the book, because your story is incredible. And especially with you opening up, when I read your story, it was something out of this world. And it's one of the best chapters in the book, I must add, because you were just so authentic in how you opened up and you shared your story. And as you mentioned, it's shared for the very first time. So it gives me
For the very first time.
honor to have.
Mind you, my kids don't even know the story. My husband know a little bit. My kids don't know the story because, like I said, and I want to express this again, when you have faith in God, God actually steered your life. And I think it's because of that that my story was put in a basket, because I couldn't have shared it with my kids when I never grieved, when I never dealt with it.
Yes.
I felt it was unfair. And only now, this year, when I put it on pen and paper, I said I actually did the right thing. They can read it now, they can judge me later, but I know they will learn from it. My grandkids will learn from it. And whoever is going to read the story might help them along the way.
I can add to that. They're going to love you even more.
I can't wait, I can't wait for them to actually read it, to
Yeah.
say, Mom, and then they can say what they want to say.
I think they're going to
But
judge
you
you
know
for
what?
the right reasons. It's going to be good
I
judgment.
want them. Yes, yes.
Definitely. So, Ishara, what inspired you to be a part of Watering the Seed Stories of Personal Growth, and why did you find that it was the right time to share your story?
Well, when I attended your event last year, it really touched me. A lot of stories from the people that were there. And firstly, like I just said now, I was touched by you, and Watering the Seed are the book that feels like home. And I think most authors feel like that. Our stories, they're usually personal, but also deeply human. And Watering the Seed have a lot of respect, lots of respect. Your book is amazing. That's why I chose the book knowing that my story deserves to be kept well. And I know that it will have great purpose. And I also love the uniqueness of people's stories in volume 2. So the story shared inspired me. Although my story seemed private, I I know that it's now permanent and in black and white,
Mhm.
and it might help a lot of people.
Well, it's going to be on a global platform on Amazon.
Yes,
So you're going to touch
amazing.
many lives with your story, and it's going to inspire lots of people. But I just want to say thank you for trusting this platform with your story, and thank you for trusting me and Watering the Seed, this global anthology.
I absolutely trust it 150%, 200%.
So, what is the core message of your chapter? Now, remember, we're not going to give away too much. What do you want readers to feel or reflect on after reading it?
Well, now that I put it in black and white, back then I had no idea that my life could go messy. Along the way, it was confusing, it was hurting, but I want readers to understand that my faith, my belief in God as a child led me to a direction, a direction I never knew. I also can't remember that I ever pitied myself, or rather knowing what it was to feel sorry for myself. I think there was no time to say, okay, although I cried, I remembered a lot of tears, I remembered a lot of crying, but I never pitied myself. Um, my days was filled with tears. I believe that God has a plan for all of us. Putting my story on paper made me see patterns and meaning I never noticed back then. Never ever.
Yes.
It's also a way of saying I was there and this is how I felt back then. I want readers to know that sharing my story could make someone else feel less alone or less lost. And everyone have a story and everyone's stories are different. But my story assisted me along my mentorship with my students. Every time there's an incident, I try bringing in a bit of my story. And my students would say, ma'am, you need to make a movie. You need to write a book. I never take them serious until I came to Oasis last year. And I told you personally, I am writing my story. So my message is, they must see where they went wrong. They must feel proud of how they figured out everything. And you always see what went wrong and come out of it. And there's always a, how did I get out of it? You know, I remember God gives us life. How we build it is up to us. My dream is for my kids and grandkids, or even strangers 100 years from now, to read my story and all the other stories in the book.
Yes, absolutely. We have
And
to.
that is why I trust watering the seed, because I know people are going to read it.
We are definitely going to read it, and your chapter is going to really stand out. Like the others, we have such amazing stories in the book. It's unbelievable
Yeah.
how people
And
have.
that's why I always say, don't judge a book by its cover. You know, when I spoke to one of my colleagues just before I left, and I said, my story will come out. I was adopted. She turned around, she said, what? Ishara, you was adopted. I thought you were one of the rich kids in the block. So it's the richness I had all the time within me that I brought out. So it's not to say when you have a dark past, you need to bring the darkness out, you know? And like I never knew these things until I put my story on pen and paper. And now actually I believe what you say. You just said now that my story was so touchy, and now I can believe you because okay, I forgot what's in the book. I'm gonna have to read it again.
You
But
have
it
to.
all came
I actually get goosebumps when I think about it because I read your story 3 times, just to let you know.
it
I
no,
did.
it came back. I think about it and it came back, and I don't even cry anymore. I mean, my husband came and that was a different chapter, a different life that I have to start. And then the kids came one by one, and they stole my world. Absolutely.
Well, your tears has to be tears of joy now. Your chapter carries
Oh, yes.
it, it,
Oh,
your chapter
yes.
carries such an important reminder about growth, healing, and self-reflection. And that's what you actually did. You reflected, you put it down on paper, and this is what we have. It's definitely going to be an Amazon bestseller. Yeah. So
Oh,
thank you
thank
for
you.
sharing.
Thank you.
I
I'm
just,
so glad that you think that.
yeah, just put out positivity. I just want to take this conversation a little deeper, Ishara. Can you take us through a defining moment in your journey that shaped your story and who you are today?
Firstly, my belief in God. I can say that 100 times.
Mhm.
Your faith in God, your belief in God, the way you speak to God with that devotion feeling from within absolutely carried me. And then the moment I fell in love with the man that God sent to me, Shamila, that was amazing. Absolutely. I'm still in love with this man. I cannot understand myself.
I love
You
hearing
know,
that. And he's such
and
an
when he
amazing
came,
person. Say hi to Naresh.
hi Naresh. He's absolutely my king. And I never knew his name means king. And his mom told me, and I said, Mom, it's fine, it's my king.
Yes,
And
for sure.
actually,
And you are the queen. Yes.
stole my heart. Oh, yes, he always say I'm his queen. He stole my heart and he kept it very, very dear to him. And I know my kids will say sometimes, Mom, you're a drama queen. But that also came to mind. At times when one of the kids will yell at me or say something, I cried. But it brought back that, you know what? It's how I was brought up. Someone yell at you, you cry. But it's not like I try keeping it in. But now that it's on pen and paper, I will not shed a tear anymore, because it's there. It's not me anymore.
I think you're going to when you
So,
read the book. I think the reality of just seeing the book and touching it and feeling it and saying, this is my story and I opened up to this. This is what we put
um,
together. I think it's going to be an emotional moment. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be right there. But
yeah, and then fell
yeah,
in love. That was the defining moment. And then the best defining moment when our first born was born. That was a different chapter, and the kids just came like one after the other. And I tell you, God really lead my life where I am today. The huge family that I gained, they are absolutely fantastic. Very, very dear to my heart.
Well done, Ishara. Your story is a reminder that nothing should be cumbersome and you can overcome lots of challenges, but it's just being strong and facing them with positivity, and that leads you on to a better life and growth. But
Absolutely.
just facing this hardship, and like you said, lots of people don't know your story. What would you say to someone right now who may be facing challenges similar to what you've experienced?
Well, the saying goes like, everything happens for a reason, but people don't want to hear that. It's very, very dismissive,
Mm-hmm.
The best isn't always stay positive, especially when you're not in it. It's know the challenge, never say my life is over. You can't solve something you don't look at directly. Most challenges look huge because you're trying to solve the whole thing at once. You need to take at least, I'll say, work 1%. That's usually enough to break the stuck feeling. 1% of that situation seems very little, but it's huge. Once you get out of that stuck feeling, control your attitude, your effort, control who you talk to and what you learn. You can't control other people's choices, timings, or past. It will feel giving up at first, but this is normally how you get power back. You're going to feel it's normal. You're going to feel like giving up. You're going to feel life is a mess. I can't live. I don't want to live. Get advice from people who haven't lived it. You're going to get that. Take the advice. People that don't walk in your shoes will give you advice. Listen, take it. Sometimes it tends to be generic. Find someone who came out of the other side with the same situation. You're going to find that person. That will give you practical steps and remind you that it will have a positive ending. When you're under stress, the first thing is, I believe, which I never did, sleep, eat on time, and move a lot. A lot of people live on coffee 24/7. They don't eat, they don't want to hear anything. And like I said, you'll hear everybody will say, relax, you in the situation, things happen for a reason. But those are the things that you don't really want to hear. Some people feel pity. Some people want you to pity them as well. But I never believed in counselors. I never believed in psychologists because they never wore your shoes. It's you yourself that's in the situation. They need to wear the shoes. They need to stand up and say, okay, what happened? Why did it happen? Let me work through it and get the advice, from the experts, but don't depend on them because along the line, they are going to frustrate you. Give yourself permission to survive first. I will say that you need to give yourself. I gave myself like 52 years to survive. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
And at the same time, have faith, as faith heals everything. If you don't have faith, you will not come out of it.
For sure. Wow. Lots of words of encouragement and hope in what you just said, Ishara. Thank you for sharing that. How did writing this chapter impact you personally? I know at the beginning you said you cried a bit, but what sort of impact did it have on you?
Oh, a lot, a lot. I had to deal with the thoughts and the feelings. It was all jumbled in my head, Every time I face something or something comes up, it brings back. But not as much as when I wrote it on paper. As I put the words down on paper and arranged them in sentences, I actually got the picture. I clearly saw what happened and I knew what mattered. The impact was not comfortable, not at all. While I was writing, I remember at some point I'll put the pen down and I'll just close my eyes and picture everything. And one or two teardrops, yes, fell, but I didn't even try not to cry. It just happened. It just happened. And I continuous writing and everything just came to mind. I continuous writing. I put it there and it was absolutely amazing. I wanted to avoid it many a times, but I said, you know what? I just want to close this chapter. I felt different as I was writing my childhood story. It shifted me from being inside that life to actually looking at it, facing it, and I felt different. I really, really felt different.
Now, how do
Well,
you
I know
feel?
it will not.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry.
How do you feel now that you opened up and you shared your story and it's going to be on a global platform and lots of people are going to read your story?
I feel amazing. I feel amazing. Although it will not erase what happened, but it will reduce the charge. I will stop reliving it and understand it better. I now trust my own judgment.
Mhm.
I even trust my own judgment in other areas too. I became a collector of moments, paying attention to conversations, the small detail. You know how people say words and later on it will matter. I also found that the isolation has broken. I'm not isolated anymore. It's out there, and writing it down was my final therapy. It helped me processing my grief, definitely, my trauma, my pain. I want to thank you once again. I want you to know that you had made a difference in my life by putting it down on pen and paper and by publishing in Watering the Seed. I am so in love with Watering the Seed. The encouragement writing made me see the pattern and meaning I never saw at the moment. I feel relieved. I feel good.
So glad. I am so glad. And thank you so much for sharing. It is such a story. And I can't wait for the audience and readers to buy the book and read your story and the other stories as well. But yes, definitely it is going down in the books for you opening up and sharing this important part of your life with us. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. Now, thank you to you. I will always be grateful to you. And with that, I want to wish you all the very best. May God bless your life as you go forward in life and bless your children. I'm very positive. I love living. Life is good and never mind the ups and downs, but it's fantastic. God gave us life and He said, enjoy it.
Yes, you have a beautiful family. You have
Absolutely.
the most amazing husband and children and grandchildren.
Oh,
Is is there anything else
yeah.
you want to add before we come to the end of the show?
Now, I just want to say again, thank you to my husband. Thank you for giving me all these beautiful children. I love my children to bits. I miss them, but I also respect their lives. They have their own lives. They have loads of challenges. It's not like back in the day with when I was a mom, when they were little. But I want my children to know that I enjoyed each and every day bringing them up. I never complained. It was never a problem. I loved my kids. They were my real toys. I never owned a doll when I was little. I never owned a toy. My first baby was my doll. And I'm not sad to say that. They stole my dolls. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, you've given them the best, and you're such a great mother. I remember the first time when I visited you and I was doing the talk at Tshwane University of Technology, and you invited me to your house, and I had something to eat, and that was pretty unusual for me. But I felt so
I
happy.
remember I made biryani and I'll never forget that day. That's why I say you will always stay dear to my heart.
I really felt at home. Thank you for that.
Thanks to you as well. And yeah, I really adore my kids and they're big today. And I'm so blessed. Me and my husband are so blessed to see their parents today and how they bring up their kids. It's amazing, absolutely stunning with their partners, beautiful to watch. Beautiful to watch.
Well, they have such a role model. So
Oh, thank you.
you've done your best and you're still doing so much. So yeah,
And
definitely.
oh yes, not forgetting my family, the Big Singh family. Oh my goodness. I love these guys, each one of them. They are super, 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 super good. I just love them. All the kids, all the grandkids, and yes, my family. I love them.
Thank you for that, Ishara, and thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being in Watering the Seed Stories of Personal Growth. To the audience, we are launching Volume 3 on the 4th of July. It will go live on Amazon and you can get your copy. And be sure to read 50 authors sharing their journeys. To the audience, Ishara's story is one of many inspiring voices featured in Watering the Seed Stories of Personal Growth, Volume 3. You can also get Volumes 1 and 2, which is available now on Amazon. Make sure you read the stories. They're global authors sharing their personal journeys, and you could be inspired. Thank you, Ishara, for sharing your journey with such courage and sincerity. Your story will inspire and uplift many people. Do not forget to like, share, and follow the Red Corner Show. If you would like to be on the show, please drop me an email, redcornershow@gmail.com, and you too could be sharing your journey. Your story matters. Until next time, take care. Bye. Bye, Shara.
Bye, Shamila. Thank you. God bless.
Same to you. See you soon.